Hey, how you doing, Trae?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that this show is all about. It's about uplifting our Black brilliance in all the realms that it shows up out here in the world. And you decided to take a step out on your own and talk about something that is very unique and often never told from a children's perspective. So before we dive into Nova Be Bold,
Mhm.
what got you going and saying to yourself, you know what, I gotta get this story out. I've got to write this book.
So this book is based on my own experiences growing up, and it was one day at church. My pastor was telling me I was telling my story, and my pastor was telling me he was like, "You need to put this in the children's book," and that was like maybe 2 years prior to me actually sitting down and writing it. So I started writing the book in 2020. I just felt in my spirit, I was just like, I need to get this down on paper. I need to get this story out because it's not just for me. I need to get this out for kids who are or have experienced that trauma as well. So that's what prompted me to get that story out and write the book.
Well, I'm glad that you got that insight from your pastor, and you knew, like, instead of you holding this story or maybe only sharing it in forums like that, maybe at church, a testimony, right?
Hmm.
You said there's something that can be done here because oftentimes us sharing our story in book form allows for a multitude of other people to be healed by it.
Right.
Tell us a bit about that experience and what Nova Be Bold is all about.
So my healing experience personally, it was a long one. I didn't seek therapy or seek help really until I was an adult. I didn't tell anybody until I was an adult. So I ended up going to therapy and I did like maybe 2.5 years and kind of worked through that. And just doing a lot of inner work, a lot of self work, and recognizing my triggers and learning how to navigate around those triggers, um, and just owning or releasing that trauma, like just saying that's it wasn't my fault. That had nothing to do with me. That trauma isn't who I am, and just becoming more than that trauma, becoming a survivor versus a victim.
Yeah.
So,
And you're talking about child sex abuse. I
mhm.
mean, that right there is where when I was just going through, everything and just talking about what you are presenting here, to put something so serious in a child's book, in a children's book, now you're really directing this healing to the children who may have experienced similar things that you did as a young person, and understanding that they have the opportunity to be bold in their own healing. Is that a bit about what you really have poured into this book?
Yes, I definitely. So, as a child, I didn't feel like I had that boldness. I didn't feel like I had the resources. I didn't feel like I had anybody to talk to or, tell them, like, hey, this is what's going on. I was more so scared. And so, Nova is who I wish I could have been when I was a child. It wouldn't have endured as long as it did if I had the confidence or the boldness to speak up. So, I want to try to prevent that and educate kids today. Like, you don't have to endure that. Like, that's not right. That's not okay. You can be bold and say something about it.
Yeah, that is so key. I know family members and others who have gone through similar things, and ultimately, I think one of the biggest things that happens oftentimes is it's people that are either close to the family, in the
Mhm.
family, right? So that idea of, man, I gotta break out and I gotta say that this person ain't right. Like, y'all, we all get together at these cookouts or whatever else, these community gatherings, and I see this person all the time, and everybody's, surrounding them or showing them love, but they are hurting me and they got something they need to work out. And oftentimes that's really the thing that I think makes children, shy away from being bold in that regard and owning their narrative, because it's hard to know that you can do that at a young age. But how does Nova approach this situation? And when you talk about Nova, the character being who you wish you were, how did you write Nova, create Nova to take on what was going on with her and do something different about it?
So do something different about it today.
Yeah, like I mean, Nova in the story, like how is she being bold? I mean, tell us a little bit about what took Nova through that kind of narrative to be like, I'm not about to do, I'm not about to endure
It's
this
like
by
I'm not about to
myself.
deal with
Yeah.
this. So in the book, if you see on the cover, Nova, she's wearing this stone, and the stone is a necklace that her grandmother gave to her, and she told her this story about how the stone came from it's pieces of a supernova that blew up, and she told her how supernovas come about, right? So if you ever seen a supernova, it's big, it's full of energy, it's big and it's bold. And so um, when a supernova blows up, it can be seen as like a traumatic event, but it
Mhm.
creates something beautiful at the end, right? And so that stone was something beautiful that was created from that supernova. So the grandmother in the story would tell her, she was like, if you're ever in a situation where you're feeling scared, or you're not feeling as confident, remember what I told you about this stone. You can hold on to it and just think back to what I told you. Be bold as this stone was during that traumatic event when the supernova blew up, because something
Mm.
beautiful will come from that. And so in the story, Nova pulls from that strength when she's feeling down from that stone, and she finds the boldness to talk to a teacher and tell them what's going on. So
Wow. DeVandra, this is powerful, yo. This is super powerful. This for me right now, I'm getting all the goosies and the chill bumps because you know what? This right here is it's breaking, right? Like not enough of these kind of stories are being told in children's books to give children the perspective of what it can mean for them. And I know you have one of the books there, but I want to make sure that you can look right in that camera, let folks know how they can support you as a new author, how they can buy Nova Be Bold. There might be a lot of families that are in need of this story right here. Look right there and let them know how they can find you.
all right, y'all. So here's my book, Nova. Here's my book, Nova Be Bold. You can find me on Instagram at Nova Be Bold. You can find me on Facebook at Nova Be Bold. You can also purchase this book at Nova Be Bold. I just ask that for support. Just get the book, share this with your kids. It comes with resources in the back for you if you are experiencing that trauma or have in the past. And it could be healing for adults too, because I know there are some adults who probably haven't dealt with that trauma if they've experienced it. So you can just go to novabebold.com and support, share the link for this interview. I'll share my page, share my Instagram and Facebook. Just whatever's on your heart to do, just do that.
Ah, Devondra, thank you so much for you being bold to share your story in this book format and to allow many who have experienced what you did to find healing in Nova Be Bold. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.